My next guest follows this stuff every day. Please welcome in to the show, America's Accountant. It's Dan Geltrude. Dan, thanks for being on the show. I just get that feeling he's not looking out the windshield. He's looking at the rearview mirror. A lot of this stuff is lagging. You got to be careful being too emboldened and really hiking because you know they're going to overshoot, right?
Well, yes, that's true. Listen, I don't think it's any secret here that Jay Powell has been behind the curve on inflation from the beginning. First, quite frankly, being in denial about it, and then saying, well, it's just going to be temporary or transitory, right? And obviously he was way wrong. So what happens now is that you have the markets and, quite frankly, everyone else looking at what he's doing and saying, well, if you got it wrong before, why should we think that you're actually going to get it right now? So, you know, he's in a position, as you alluded to before, that he's trying to kill the economy to save it. And that doesn't instill a lot of confidence in the markets or for consumers and everybody else in the country. So he's really made quite a mess of things. And I think he's been under a lot of pressure, Scott, to do something, no matter what, just do something so we could say we're trying. And of course, we're seeing it's simply not working.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall or even a reporter in the room last week and been able to ask him a few questions. I don't think that they're getting to the bottom of this, especially in that room. And, you know, one of them is this, look, Chairman Powell, is your only plan to kill the economy? I mean, because that seems what it is. I mean, we don't talk about anything else. Maybe we get the dot plot, Rorschach test in there, which I can't stand. But still, it just seems to me that that's his only. He's just everything's a nail and he's the hammer. I think that's one of those things. And then I would have to ask him, what are you looking at, sir? Tell us what you're looking at, because right now it seems like you're looking at a lot of things that are lagging and have now started to come off, but all of a sudden you're now going to flex your muscles. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Look, the only plan, and perhaps the only thing he can do for the most part, is to continue to raise interest rates. And that comes with enormous consequences. And everyone knows it, yet we continue down the same path, Scott. So, you know, you have to start asking yourself, when are we going to wake up, or I should say, when is the Fed going to wake up and say, wait a minute, you know, this isn't working. Perhaps we should go in another direction, because inflation has been a lot more stubborn and resistant to interest rate rises than we thought.
And the unintended consequences of raising the interest rates in this country as quickly and as emboldened as we have are reverberating around the globe. I mean, because look at the dollar index and how much that's appreciated, and that's going to be a problem for everybody else out there that's got dollars as well. So it's not like we can just kind of do this on our own. And I think that's another one of those big things. Like, why can't, I know I'm talking to a wall, but I would want to be working on, solving the productivity issue, the supply side issue, right? That's where we can make some good headway. This idea that we're going to just continue to raise interest rates and not even take a step back and see what their effect is or might be, I think is it's dangerous, and actually it's almost like you're whistling past the graveyard.
You are. And how about this, Scott? When you look at the policies of the administration, as it pertains to demand, let's say, because everybody wants to ignore supply. So let's just go with that for a minute.
Right.
So the administration has got full throttle, stepping on the gas related to demand. Let's get more money in the system. Let's keep giving people a reason to spend. And then you have the Fed with their foot on the brake pedal. So
yes.
Now, where are we going? I'll tell you what we're doing. We're doing donuts in a parking lot, around and around, getting nowhere. And let me also tell you this. We are, and you see this in the news everywhere, right? We're in hurricane season now. So you want to see supply chains being tested, and I hope it doesn't happen, with the potential for damage and supplies that are going to be needed perhaps around the United States? Well, to me, that's going to create even more of a mess related to inflation, because supplies are going to drop. We keep flooding the market with more money, and this is what's going to happen.
All right, foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. And you know what, Dan? I'll leave you with this one. I don't know if you've looked at it, but if you take a look at the weather report for Europe, the one thing that we can't really afford to have is a very cold snap, and that's exactly what they're going to have, I think, this coming week. So not including the fact that we're having a hurricane here, but they're going to get very cold over there at about the same exact time. I mean, you just wouldn't want to wish it on anybody. I really appreciate you coming on. You really put it together perfectly. I think everybody got that and understands it. That's why you're America's accountant. Thank you very much. Dan Geltrude from Nutley, New Jersey. Thanks for being on the show. Now, here's